Well, good afternoon, everybody. Today is the 27th of March. Uh, yeah, 27th of March, 2017. Hi, I'm Thomas T. Ryan. This is Thomas T. Ryan and Company. If you've been following along some of our videos, you know how this works. These are our current stats. We're currently up 4.5%. The market right now is plus 3.9.6. Our weeklies are lagging a little bit, but our dailies have come back in a big way. We're up about 7% in the last 30 days alone. If you'd like to check us out, 30-day free trial, ttryanco.com. We take no credit cards for the free trial. Just plug in your email address and off you go. So I thought we'd take a look right now at a couple of things that we've been working on. Here's another, unfortunately, trade that did not work. They don't all work, folks. They do not all work. And this is Facebook. Fortunately, we stopped out on that. This was not in the letter, by the way. We did not recommend this. I talked about it in one of my videos, which you can still see online. And we were looking at technical patterns here. Facebook had been hugely up, and then it looked like right here we were going to hit a lineup with this top right here where it fell off before in what at the time was a big MACD divergence and a seriously overbought situation. Didn't work out. Facebook is still climbing. It did take a little bit of a drop here, but Facebook is still on its way up. Personally, I think Facebook is going to take a fall here at some point. There's a lot of rumblings going on in the media, digital media space of a lot of problems with fraud and corruption. And I think something is probably going to blow up here at some point. But you know, these things can hide for an awfully long time. So let's go ahead and look at one of our trades here today, which was FRT. FRT, which we closed a 1R on that, and we're on our way to 2R. So I'm going to talk to you about, why this trade was picked, why we are doing this. And I'll show you behind the scenes my favorite scan that I use to pick up a trade like this. So here's my favorite scanner. Again, let's back up for a second. This is my TC2000 screen. As you all know, we have monthly right here, all the major time periods, monthly, weekly, daily, hourly, and 10-minute charts. Pretty much they all have the same indicators on them, volume, the average true range. I look at two stochastics, kind of a shorter, faster stochastic, the 5 period, and a longer stochastic, 14 period. And I do that pretty much on all of these, as you can see. So you can see, I think the 5, if you do a 5, you'll maybe get a little peek at something a little earlier than it's probably ready. But if you obey the 5, the stochastic 5, it's going to tend to maybe get you into a trade a little bit too early. So I like, looking at both of them, and I like looking at the 14. It'll keep you out of the trade a little bit longer and maybe get a little bit better entry price rather than having to sit on something and watch it bounce around as a potential loser for a couple of days. So what's our basic setup here for trading? If you're a long-term trader, you've been doing this a long time, none of this is going to be news to you. If you're just starting out in it, this is some important stuff. And no, I'm not going to give you all my secret sauce today, but I will tell you some of the basic fundamentals that are really critical. Everybody talks about support and resistance. Support and resistance is important, don't get me wrong. And support and resistance can be a catalyst. But support and resistance in and of itself is not a reason to make a trade. The number one reason to make a trade is the trend. And how do we pick the trend? We pick the trend by some of the leading moving averages. This is the daily 200-day moving average. This is the 50 in red 200-day moving 50-day moving average. And principally, I like to trade off of the 50-day moving average. So how do we get to this? We get to this with this scan. So this scan is looking for stocks which are above, let's see, what do I pick? Above 70 on the moving average. Okay, so we're looking on the stochastic. We're above 70 on the 14-period stochastic. So, and then we put the 14-period stochastic on the scan. So this is the scan of all the stocks, all the S&P 500 stocks, which are currently over 70 on their 14-period stochastic. Then we take the 14-period stochastic and we put it onto this scan. How do we do that? I'll show you that real quick. Stochastic, 14-period, right-click, copy to watch list or report. Right here, click. I took it off the screen and now you can't see it. Let me put it back on the screen here for you. Okay, there's the scan. So we're going to do, let's get it over here a little bit. All right, right-click on stochastic, copy to watch list or report, and now where'd it go? You don't really get to see it on this screen this way. Well, suffice it to say, that's how you do it. I've got it floating in another window, so this thing is floating and it's going to get overruled every time it tries to show you what's going on here. But the bottom line is when you do add to scan or watch list, you're going to put it right into this column right here, or any column you want. You can move it around. Then we're going to do another scan, which is I want to see that the price, hourly price, is below my average 50, the exponential 50 period moving average. All right. So is it below? Yes. FRT was below the moving average. So this puts you in, and then you can rank it. You rank it right here, boom, up there, boom, there. And so now we have conditions of the stochastic is overbought, but it's still below the 50 period moving average. So in essence, the stock, this is going to do a couple things. First of all, it's going to help have you, and this would be for shorts, right? This is a 10-minute overbought, and it happens to be right now that we're also looking at the daily. Is on this chart, it's also overbought. So this is a perfect setup for a trade. It's overbought on the daily time frame, and it was overbought this morning here on the 10-minute and starting to move down. So we are looking for the right entry on a fundamentally good setup. Fundamentally good setup is this trending down line, a matching trend down on the next higher time frame of the weekly, and a matching MACD that's not in divergence, more or less matching. It's not in divergence, all right? What we're looking for are things that might stop this trade. Now, there were some doubts in my mind on this because here we've come a long way down on FRT, and it's now sitting on this rising moving average in a longer time frame. So is it a little bit of a risk? Yeah, a little bit of a risk that this thing is not going to work. Why did we take this today? Well, I did this morning in the letter because today was going to be a down day. We had, I think, about 150 points negative on Dow futures this morning as the market was getting ready to open. So this was going to be a down day. We'll take something that might have some doubts in it like that, but it's got a good, strong, long-term downtrend here. It's downtrending in the daily time frame, and it was overbought in the 10-minute right over here and sitting in this mess right here, getting ready to potentially break out. And it was going to break out because it was also overbought in the daily time frame. So we had a lot of time frames where this stock was overbought in a decline. And we'll get back to support and resistance. So what value do we place on support and resistance? Well, in my mind, support and resistance comes after all of this. So if you've got the trend, if you're at the right place in the trend, if you've got a moving average that's going to push you down, then you've got a potential short lined up here. And you've got a market that's going with you. The resistance comes in right here. You see all this, congestion right here. I can't draw a box, but I was going to draw a box around this. You see this congestion right here? So it's kind of coming up against the bottom line of this congestion right there. And sure enough, this thing had been sitting, hitting this resistance right here. You see it right there? It hit it. So it hit that resistance right there, and it started reacting to it. Well, we were going to bet that because it was overbought, because it had several days up, and because it's in a downtrend with some resistance, we're going to short this. And we did, and we closed 1R, same day that we opened the trade. So it's now still on its way down to potentially 2R down here. We'll see. Hopefully it gets there. That was FRT this morning, and that was just one of our trades. We opened the trade and closed 70% of the trade today with 1R profit. So that's 70% of 1%. We always talk about using a 1% risk. So you made on this one trade, you made about a 0.7% return on your investment in a matter of hours this morning. So that's where we're at. That's how we do it. If you want to, come in and visit with us and check us out, please do. Love to have you on board, and please join us. Thomas T. Ryan and Company, ttryanco.com.